the sixth and seventh senses. This text explores the concept of what's known as the intuitive realm, which exists as a fine structured sensory perception beyond the five normal senses. It acts as a sensor which filters outside information through the subconscious to the consciousness, waking mind, preventing overload and ensuring intuitive activity. Various spectrums of the intuitive realm exist, from simple thought reading to primary and secondary telepathy to spiritual telepathy and to remote viewing. Only a few people have access to all these gifts, and anyone with the right tools and knowledge can access these abilities. Many people don't use these gifts due to fear or their brain's self-protection mechanisms. This is why a stable psyche is key for access the intuitive realm, because developing these abilities without a strong mental foundation can lead to schizophrenic effects and social isolation. Main points. Learn to develop the ability to consciously and controllably utilize the faculties of fine sensitive perception which allow access to the intuitive realm. Ensure the entire world of consciousness, thoughts, feelings, and the psyche are in a healthy state of mind before learning and gaining access to the intuitive realm, because it involves heightened sensitive perception. Prevent the dangers of confusion and uncontrollable external stimulations when developing these gifts. Understanding motor functions and censorship. The motor functions in your body are regulated by a censorship mechanism between the consciousness and subconscious. This sensor prevents overtaxing of the brain by filtering out information from the subconscious mind to one's waking state of everyday consciousness. This censoring restricts arbitrary actions and ensures that only the right type of information comes through at the right time, so that one can act intuitively to avoid danger when necessary. Neuronal switching. Neuronal switching is a form of brain plasticity that describes how neurons can change their participation in networks, or how they can switch between single and dual network activity. Neuronal switching occurs as a survival mechanism in response to serious accidents or illnesses, leading to intuitive actions beforehand that can prevent tragedy. And reading thoughts and telepathy. Reading thoughts is not related to primary or secondary telepathy or spiritual telepathy. The actual reading of thoughts is rare and requires empathy to perceive feelings associated with thoughts, which is why people who read lots of fiction involving low or high emotional lows are more empathetic. Further research will show that these people are also the best category of people who are able to read another's thoughts. One can perceive thoughts over great distances if they have the capacity to access the intuitive realm or have a strong emotional bond with that person. However, not everyone can read thoughts or feel if someone is in danger due to their varying abilities regarding access to the intuitive realm. Human brain capability and self-protection. Your brain is capable of sending and receiving thoughts, but not everyone can read thoughts due to the brain being mostly governed by rational intellect. Self-protection mechanisms have been built in to prevent uncontrolled penetration of foreign spiritual vibrations. This is because your brain has evolved to organize and make choices to avoid being overwhelmed by excess foreign material. Consciousness works according to a structured system, and exposure to excess stimulations it deems illogical confuse it. Without this protection, humans would be overwhelmed by contradictory information, leading to insanity. Dreams allow access to the intuitive realm, revealing information that might otherwise remain concealed in the waking state. The firmer one's identity, the more stable their psyche, making them less susceptible to intuitive or telepathic information overload. A consciously developed perception relating to telepathy or access to the intuitive realm requires a healthy and strong psyche. Traumatic events can sometimes trip up the brain, causing it to access the intuitive realm, but a healthy and strong psyche is the best way to access these realms. The next portion of the text explores the human capacity for perceiving reality beyond the material senses, emphasizing the role of the pineal gland and meditative practice. It highlights that most people only perceive reality restrictedly, due to mental blocks and some blocks caused by electromagnetic fields. Blind individuals with their energy directed to the pineal gland exhibit heightened spiritual feelings which can also help them see. The text also explores the brain's intuitive early warning systems, the perception of infrasound, and the concept of auras. These abilities are often suppressed by leading a lifestyle that is overly rational, with excess focus on intellectual ability. The near-death experience is described as a window into a realm of the intuitive world, where perceptions extend beyond the material senses. It causes a shift in one's perception as the body chemistry changes. Core summary: develop the spiritual, fine, sensitive feeling through ongoing meditation practice. Stimulate and utilize the pineal gland activity to enhance spiritual, fine, sensitive perception abilities like clairvoyance and telepathy. Maintain healthy psychic hygiene and perseverance, especially during meditative practices, to consciously access capabilities such as enhanced intuition and telepathy. Perception and instinct in human beings. Human beings perceive reality in a restricted way due to the blockade and deflection of the intuitive realm, which partly consists of a type of fine, fluid, electromagnetic field of energy. People who have awakened their intuitive abilities are able to freely allow their energy to flow towards the pineal gland, enabling them to clearly perceive things in the intuitive realm. Meditative practices help one develop their access to the intuitive realm, even allowing them to perceive deeper into what's called the hyper-intuitive realm, which belongs to the spiritual realm. The hyper-intuitive realm is not possible with most people due to their insufficient evolution of consciousness. The role of the pineal gland and blind individuals. There are numerous websites and videos online that teach anyone to see things and even read while wearing a blindfold. A simple web search with the phrase "seeing with a blindfold on" yields thousands of web pages, articles, and courses. The part of the brain responsible for this is the pineal gland, also known as the midbrain, and that it can lead to spiritual awareness. The pineal gland produces and releases melatonin, which is a hormone that grows at night and shrinks during the day. It works by receiving information coming in through the retinas in the eyes. Fluoride has an affinity for the pineal gland because it's located outside the blood-brain barrier and has high vascularization, which in turn can affect melatonin production and sleep patterns. The pineal gland continued. The pineal gland is associated with the Eye of Horus in Pharaonic Egypt and is considered the seat of the soul and the third eye in various religious traditions. This is why blind individuals have more physical sensitivity due to their energy being naturally directed towards their pineal gland as an adaptive survival mechanism. Studies have found that retinas of blind people is interwoven with special nerve cells that transmit signals to their pineal gland, which in turn stimulates melatonin production. Studies have also found that people who are blind or even suffer from a visual impairment tend to have higher levels of melatonin and more abnormal melatonin rhythms than people who are sighted. The human brain has other important factors like the anterior cingulate cortex ACC that becomes active during difficult decisions or when perceiving threats. Through spiritual, fine, sensitive feeling, it is also involved in motivation and goal-centered behavior. Infrasound, emitted by animals such as whales, octopuses, pigeons, elephants, or even earthquakes, can be perceived by humans with access to the intuitive realm, not ordinarily detected, though normal material senses